We've got. How did we find this? Cadet Police Acad.
God, that's a lot of text on that image for a symbol. For context, as far as we can tell, this is some kind of, you can say it's some sort of an indoctrination thing. I don't know if I would say that, but maybe you would because it is. But this is a youth police academy training future cops. Is that what it is?
I think it is. Yeah, I think they call themselves law enforcement education for youth.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
All right. It's never a good sign when you just need so many words. Do you know what I mean? Like whatever your mission is requires so many adjectives and nouns.
So they only have 1,600 followers, but a lot of their TikToks have gotten tons of views. All right. So yeah, let's go through the regiment, the itinerary, the syllabus.
Yeah.
Let me just, first of all, Jarvis, thank you for your service.
Thank you for your, okay.
Well, thank you for something.
Thank you.
Okay, a bunch of kids having to do push-ups. Okay. Push-ups on the carpet.
I don't like that they're doing push-ups at all, and I don't like. I don't like any of this. If I'm being honest,
The chants.
I don't like military cosplay for children.
I know. It is such a... Because it's like, what is the goal? You could argue, you don't go to space camp to become an astronaut, but you do go for like a compelling time, maybe.
Yeah.
But you kind of are going to this to either join the army or the police.
Yeah,
right?
I feel like your parents put you in this.
Yeah, there's a pipeline essentially.
It's you're there for an extended period of time, right? Like it is like a...
I don't know. Yeah, I guess we're gonna learn.
If I go for one day and they make me do push-ups during lunch, see ya.
Advanced felony stops
and building searches.
Building searches. Why do kids need to know this?
They're using fake guns in a sort of arrest situation.
Yeah. You get a call about a black teenager having the goal to be outside. It's cosplay a little bit, right? It's the Ren Fair for
can
murderers.
we just cosplay something a little more fanciful?
Yeah, this feels like it is training.
It feels like training. It feels
prepping them.
This quite literally feels like indoctrinating our children.
Yeah, I mean, what else?
People yap online about how they're making the kids learn gender theory or whatever. I feel like I have a lot of issue with this because it's just like introducing like violence and I mean I get playing like cops and robbers or whatever, but this is too, and it's okay watching an action movie or a cartoon, but this just feels too real.
It feels a little like when there was a crackdown on representation of ads on YouTube, and now you need to disclose that something was an ad and you needed the tags, and that became kind of normalized because everyone woke up or admitted to the fact that children don't have media literacy, and they literally think that they should buy Voodoo Ranger IPA because you had it. And they're like, oh, I guess he just really likes it. But there is no avoiding the fact that like they had to do that because kids can't separate fiction from reality. Yeah. When kids would play cops and robbers, they were playing, a cop from Looney Tunes. They were playing the Hamburglar as the robber. And this is like, it's almost like creepily mundane. It's like, here's what you do. You have to stop someone for a frisk.
Here's the paperwork class where we learn how to file a police report.
Now be careful, because if you disclose a little bit too much about how physically violent you were, you may compromise the investigation.
When I was a kid, my dad was in the military, and me and my siblings played.
Sorry, I had no idea.
Me and my siblings would play Army, where we would crawl in the backyard and like pretend to shoot at stuff.
You want a narrative for your play, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when I was in high school, I told my dad, like, hey, what if I went into ROTC, ROTC, which is like the... Did
they call it ROTC? Because I always heard ROTC or junior ROTC.
Well, we called it ROTC.
That's fun.
Because you were
in the know.
A farmy brat.
Yeah. I actually don't even know what ROTC stands for.
Reserve Officers Training Corps.
What it means is you become an officer as soon as you enter the military, rather than being a grunt. A grunt is probably not even a nice word. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like getting into defensive driving course before you get insurance.
Because I remember the ROTC stuff in my high school, and just like how they'll come, like the police will come to like recruit like high school kids who don't know anything, or the military will come and recruit.
That is, I don't know if that is just, I had my farmy town. Maybe we were just like the one is exposed to if it did exist, or if it is literally not allowed. But we never had any kind of like recruitment on campus or in general.
Like not I do think there's places where it's like not allowed.
Yeah,
not in
I've
America. It's always allowed
like in
America.
the UK too. Like isn't it where like the military isn't allowed to do advertisements?
Yeah, you can't put ads on TV until a certain time, though I don't know if that's still the case, because there are like SAS ads, and those are like one way to belong. You find your mates, and it's a guy in blackface.
You'll make friends here. That was their campaign.
That actually genuinely
Oh,
is
I
so
feel like that's a
often
lot of the
thesis.
Army ads, and then now on Twitch they'll have like ads and talk about like playing Call of Duty or whatever. It's like Call of Duty in real life.
The friends that I had that were considering the military were kind of always framing it as the American military. And it was the American military or the SAS, which is, hey, you leave an annoying comment if you're a boring person that knows about the Army, but is perceived at least as the Navy SEALs. That's like the aesthetic
Special
equivalent.
forces kind of thing.
And so they were just like, yeah, I need to join the SAS because that's one side you play in Call of Duty 4, or I will join I'll be Soap McTavish. Call of Duty 4, anybody? Okay, don't worry about it. Or I joined the American military because that's the one from movie.
Sir, my day's been going very good, sir.
Has anybody asked you that yet today?
Sir, yes, sir.
How did you answer that?
But not a good answer, sir.
Why not?
Because I was distracted, sir.
Distracted.
Sir, yes, sir.
What if you were on a job and got distracted?
That wouldn't be good, sir.
Why are the instructions so sleepy?
Yeah, what if you're on the job and got distracted? You look like you get distracted a lot on the job,
Take
sir.
those shades off, brother. What the hell?
It's not the military, dude.
I'm a little confused. I thought because this is just military.
It's
school.
just like they're
doing military.
cosplaying. They're like excited to be able to
Yeah, they're LARPing.
do this.
Kids with all their face down on the desk. What is this related to?
Basic nap time with spa meditation music. What is he saying?
It's nap time for basic.
It's a bunch of kids.
Is
with
this
their faces
what is
down.
this? This is so dark.
Yeah, it feels like a Junji Ito manga or something. Their faces all meld. Practicing arrests.
Pressure, force your bad guy to the ground, understood?
The framing of bad guy too feels flawed.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Because the reality of these things is pretty gray.
Well, that's why it's called arresting, not prosecuting.
Yeah, it's like we don't actually know if they're bad until, innocent until proven guilty.
And also, like, even framing it as arrest training and not like, this is combat training. You can arrest someone without throwing them on the ground.
It's just the optics of just like seeing kids arresting other kids feels like some Lord of the Flies shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot. Shoot a shot. I'm coming in hot.
I've seen so many officer videos and there's never one officer taking down another person. It's always like 10 guys taking down like a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
It's a guy falls out of a slide and they'll shoot it.
And they're yelling, "Stop resisting," while he's like, "I'm hurt. I'm hurting."
They're like throwing him out of a helicopter or
It's
something.
not realistic.
So then the adults of the program also act in these scenarios. So basically he's cosplaying someone having a mental health crisis, which is super
I guess
cool.
trigger warning for that.
Yeah.
That's far enough.
Turn your radios off now.
There's a guy wearing just a bunch of tinfoil.
To turn off. I am not going to tell
sir,
you
stop,
again.
sir.
I am not going to tell you again. Get your hands off of me.
What did he do wrong though? Is the thing.
Sir. Please reach it. Take your hands out of your pockets. Take your hands out of your pockets, sir.
Oh right, because he put his hand in his pocket, so he might have a weapon.
Yeah.
I am showing you the location of my crossfire.
They all pulled their gun out.
Yeah. Well, he's not complying, so
You need to get me home. The spaceship is above us. Why are you not listening?
they had too much fun building this. Like, there's no reason you needed to go completely off with the aluminum foil.
You didn't need foil. Oh, they're arresting him. Okay.
Also,
'Cause of the
why
robot-
do
the
they
alien.
need so many people to be
was-
involved in that?
What? How many cops are they putting on him?
that's
actually true.
Real, yeah.
Well, because it is just like it's like a bystander bias or whatever kind of thing, where like
Yeah.
cops just keep turning up and they're all just standing around going like, I guess we're arresting him with some. Okay.
Yeah, it feels like they're spawning in.
They do.
Yeah. It's interesting when at what point the fiction and the fun comes back in, but like you cannot have fun when you are talking about judo, but you can have a little whimsy when you're talking about somebody having a severe mental health crisis.
Right. Oh my
They're
God.
being silly.
Right.
No, it's very serious.
You
right
and
now.
300 friends.
Yeah, it's very serious when I'm asking if you're having a good day.
And they're not
They not-
teaching them
yeah, it's
how
all
to
right.
have empathy.
Here's how you take down the bad guy. It's like just
was
glorified
different?
cops and robbers.
What was different about that than any arrest? they were encircling him and being like, "Stop don't do that, please don't. I'll kill you."
I just see so much like in my own community of like people trying to keep like an unhoused guy like comes into the coffee shop.
Yeah.
And then like everybody's like, hey, can we get you anything? We just want to make sure that you're good, but also you can't like loiter. We never want it to get to the point of like calling the cops, because once it gets to that point, it's like it's so hyper militarized that it's like
That is sweeping the problem away because it will not benefit them in any way. And it is just removing the issue from you. If you're motivated to do that, it has to be on the rare occasion where there is like some kind of physical component to it.
Yeah.
And that, I don't know, I lived in the Tenderloin for a long time, and that is very uncommon. Does not happen, but like, I feel like especially in like outside of major cities, people are just like, there's this constant crime happening in New York.
Oh, I mean, if you go on Twitter, it's like the Tenderloin. I can't walk 2 feet without hitting a needle.
And in Manhattan now, it's actually made out of guns. And it's like there's never been less crime in New York.
It's always
in
on
history.
fire.
We have lots of friends who still live in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And all of the headlines are like, crime is up in San Francisco. And it's like, no, it's not. Like,
less
it's
is
actually more of a ghost town than ever.
I remember there was one instance of I think we've talked about this before, an instance of like some tech founder dude getting stabbed. And then people were like, this is why we've got to move out of San Francisco because they're not doing anything about the crime. And then it comes out that like, it was a crime of passion because like that guy was dating the perpetrator's sister.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
even the concept of it having to be like, guys, like a real guy that got stabbed.
oh yeah,
Not
because
like,
it was
you know,
a real guy. Yeah,
the guy that matters got
and
stabbed.
then no one ever and everyone sort of did their hand wringing about how it was the unhoused population and how they need to do something about it in San Francisco. And then it comes out that it's not that. And then the retraction is never as loud as the accusation. And it just like, it just furthers this like,
it's the visibility
hysteria.
part where it's like, yeah, the people, these unhoused people wandering around attacking, and it's like, well, no, it's because on the rare occasion somebody does get killed. It's just a lot of the time it's in a house. A lot of the time it's just not visible to me. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Or I have a bias that has already made me afraid of like the guy who like politely asked if I can grab him a bottle of water, and so I tell him that I'd have COVID, whatever people do these days. I assume.